You already know this. Women's college basketball has just come off a phenomenal season with record numbers of viewers for the NCAA March Madness tournament. We may be at a turning point for women's sports. But will the WNBA be able to capitalize on the success of the college stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, who are now part of the league? That is the challenge for WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. I sat down with her for tonight's keynote conversation. Cathy, this has been an extraordinary few weeks for you. Just what has this been like?
It's really just been amazing. The attention on women's basketball and women's sport overall, the confluence of so many positive factors at one time, including these generational players coming into the WNBA that we drafted on April 15th, and just their followership, and our current players being a little edgy about, come on, rookies, come into the league, we'll show you how it's done. So it's been fun. We're so looking forward to tipping off our 28th season, and we're glad to be leading.
Why do you think there's this gap, right? This huge excitement and popularity for NCAA women's basketball, and then there's a drop-off when it comes to the WNBA?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a drop-off. What I would say is there's three things you need in sports, as I've learned. You need household names, you need rivalries, and you need games of consequence. And so those are the three things that drive people to view.
And 3 million people were viewing that WNBA draft last week. It was so exciting. And then the days that followed, there was this outrage over the salaries of players like Caitlin Clark. And there's a lot of misinformation. So do you want to help us understand maybe why this outrage is misguided?
Yeah, I think everybody thinks that we all should be on par with leagues that have been around 75, 100, 110 years. MLB and the NHL and the NFL are all over 100 years old. NBA's in their 77th year. We're going to tip off our 28th season. So it's all about an economic model to get more valuation of our media rights, of an ad buy, of a patch on the uniform, a placement on the court, getting more people to sign up. And I think to be looked at as a legitimate sports media and entertainment property, yes. Do we need to get more revenue through media rights, through corporate partnerships? That's what funds revenue. And it's just an economic model.
Do you get enough support from the NBA?
Huge support from the NBA. I mean, there's a reason why the WNBA is the longest tenured women's professional sports league in the country, by the way, by double any other at 28 years. And it's because of our big brother, the NBA.
You're in this ideal moment. How do you take this momentum and supercharge it, right? What is sort of the biggest, craziest idea you have for growth going forward?
It's a great challenge because one of the things I start out every meeting, whether it's with my team, with the Board of Governors, with our team presidents, with our GMs and head coaches, is the bold will win. Everything must change. We can't look at the WNBA over the past 25 years. We have to look forward, and the bold will win here. But sports comes down to marketing, and marketing. And so one of the things is, if you build it, they will come. As we have more of our games on national platforms, more people watch, more people attend, more people buy your merch, your brand goes up, your valuations of your franchises go up.
Do you fear a perfect storm, right? You've got all this positive momentum. Let's say everything lines up. What if the viewers don't come? What if the fans don't buy the merch?
Here's why I don't fear it. The quality of the game is great. There's a lot more recognition of who these athletes are. They're coming in with huge followership. They're generational players. The only thing we've got to work hard on is getting those fans to know where to watch us and when to watch us. And I don't fear anything. I feel so blessed to be in women's basketball because it's not just this class with Caitlin and Angel and Cameron Brink and Rickea Jackson and Camila Cardoso. It's Paige Beckers next year in her class. It's Kiki Rice on UCLA the following year. There's so much strength in this talent. And ultimately, talent on the court and the quality on the court and the parity in the game is going to win viewers. And that's why I don't fear it.
Sue Bird, who's obviously a legendary player and an optimist, did say something sort of telling, where she said there's a lot of support and interest for girls' sports. It starts to fade off when it's women's sports. And then when you look at women's basketball, it's sort of this trifecta of marginalized groups. In many cases Black, in many cases gay, and obviously all women. Do you think that's contributed to the lag or the lack of interest?
I don't. I think what's contributed is media companies and corporate partners years ago, and certainly when I came in the league, the first statistic I heard is less than 1% of all corporate partnership dollars that support sports is women's sports, and less than 5% of all media coverage of sports is women's sports. So how can you compete? It doesn't matter your demographic. You can't compete when those dollars aren't flowing in. And what we've seen over the past 4 years, capital inflows coming into women's sports. I don't think it's as much as the demographic, although obviously our players, I'm so proud of what they stand for. 80% women of color, an LGBTQ plus community. But, you know, I don't think my assessment, and again, I'm a business person, so my assessment from a business perspective is not that. And also people not knowing the quality of the game is so good. I now have moms and dads coming up to me saying the first game, basketball game, professional game I want my son to see is a women's basketball game, because that's how the game should be played, and I want him to learn to play the game that way.
When you talk about investment in the game, do you believe until recently people have looked at the WNBA or women's sports like it's an important investment or it's a passion project, but they haven't looked at it like a profitable business imperative, and that's been the barrier?
I totally agree with that. When I came in the league, it was about this is the right thing to do, and it's almost like a charity or philanthropic. I think those days are gone. And, you know, everybody now wants a WNBA team in their city, which is great because we are expanding. We already announced the Bay Area and soon more. And it's just such a great time when capital start to flow in. You're viewed as a legitimate sports media and entertainment property and not just a passion project.
If we're in these two chairs next year, what does success look like? Success
is growing our fan base. I mean, we have about 35 million fans today. I want 100 million. People who identify themselves as fans of the WNBA. We have a lot of low-hanging fruit globally, so growing our game globally, growing it for young girls to look up and see, and young boys, and see these players leading women's sports. And now I think this is all going to lift everyone in the league.
Cathy, thank you so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you. Look forward to hosting you at a game.
And on that winning note, I wish you a good night. From all of our colleagues across the networks of NBC News, thanks for staying up late. I'll see you at the end of tomorrow.
Stay up to date on the biggest issues of the day with the MSNBC Daily newsletter. Each morning, you'll get analysis by experts you trust, video highlights from your favorite shows.
2024 is now truly the most important election in the history of our country.
Previews of our podcasts and documentaries, plus written perspectives from the newsmakers themselves, all sent directly to your inbox each morning. Get the best of MSNBC all in one place. Sign up for MSNBC Daily at msnbc.com.